Um, Perfect. Now that we've got the recording going, we will formally kick this off. Beck, you ready?
Ready?
Ready. All right. All right. Well, folks, meet Bec Burns, FulGaz's events and partnerships manager. She's got a background in marketing and a passion for cycling. Beck has been an integral part of the FulGaz team, helping to build and strengthen partnership while organizing engaging events for the global cycling community. Her enthusiasm and dedication make her a driving force behind FulGaz's mission to bring real-world cycling experiences indoors. And Beck, can we give you a round of applause for your very first triathlon? Didn't you just do
Yeah,
your first
yeah.
triathlon?
I did.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
a couple of sprint tries under my belt now. So I'm building to a 70.3 next year. My first will be in Cairns. And yeah, slowly getting sucked into the ecosystem from being very much a cyclist to into a triathlete. So exciting.
Congratulations. Can I take you off script here a little bit and just ask you what was the biggest thing that you learned in that first triathlon?
Sorry, I just let my dog in. Biggest thing I learnt was be prepared, I think.
Mm.
I stupidly left home the morning of the race and it was raining and I didn't really pack any kind of wet weather gear to sort of be in pre-race and then post-race. So I was pretty much a drown rat before I went into the water. The water was cooler than it was on the beach waiting to go in, which was nice. But then yeah, it was just like really just drenched by the time I'd finished, wet socks, wet shoes, wet everything. So I think over preparing is what I learned, and packing more things because I could have just thrown it all in my car and it would have been super easy. It wasn't like I had to get on a plane or anything to race. So yeah.
Everybody here can probably identify with that.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson learned.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's roll on in. I'm going to turn it over to April to kick off the first question.
Yes, Beck, we're so happy to have you here. I also have to say you get the award for the most badass hair. I already feel faster just looking at your hair. It's very aerodynamic.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Um, I want to know, and for the audience as well, what is full gas, and where this compound question, where did that name come from? Because it definitely has this really cool spelling to it, first and foremost, and it gives this like rah spirit. But I'd love to know what is full gas and where did the name come from?
Yeah, sure. So FulGaz is a indoor cycling app which takes real world ride vision. We pair it with the GPS data from the rider from that ride, and then recreate it indoors to the highest level of realism you can get on the market. So there's a really advanced physics model behind the software which recreates all the things like, takes into account your CDA, your weight, your bike weight, all the different things. We can even add wind and things in there if you so desire. But yeah, it's definitely the most realistic on the market, and we really want people to feel like they're riding outdoors when they're indoors. We've been part of Ironman since 2021, so they acquired the business, seeing the potential for athletes to be able to train on their bike courses from anywhere in the world. And we've seen that of the triathletes that are using us to race, around 95% of them are bettering their bike splits and improving their finisher rates and improving their times and things. So it definitely helps to ease that race day anxiety, knowing exactly what the bike course has to hold. We can't help you on the swim or the run, sorry, but we can help you with the biggest part of the day. So yeah, it's really fun. And full gas, to answer your question, so I don't know if anyone, I mean, it's used colloquially, I guess, now in a lot in cycling commentary and but it's from the term and the German phrase to go full gas from I know Jens Voigt made it quite popular and all the rest of it. So it comes from that phrase, and I always laugh when the Tour de France is on, because you could almost like have a fun game around how many times they use our name in the commentary. It's always quite funny. So
I gotta say, I did not know about the wind. You could add in like an element of wind. So thinking about like Ironman Texas, that sounds gnarly.
yeah. Yeah, so Mike who started it, he still runs it today. He got up to like, not, I wouldn't say UCI World Tour level, but pretty close, as a British cyclist. And then came to Australia, met a girl, stayed here as you do, and actually got homesick from not being able to ride his English country lanes from Australia. Don't know why, the weather's terrible in England, but yeah, so he missed that, and then just got to mucking around with a GoPro and some GPS data, and here we are 10 years later, so it's pretty cool.
Well, I had a pretty cool experience with FulGaz when I first tried it. It was during my training for Ironman Alaska. And I will say, like, that really helped me get in the zone and prepare for what that day was going to hold. And I rode that course, I think 4 separate times because it was an out and back. And it really did make all the difference. Like those are some of the hardest sessions I had in my training routine, and I think it just gave me the grit that I needed to execute on the days. So I really love this technology, and I'm glad you're here, Bec, to talk
Yeah,
about
thank you. Yeah, we pride ourselves on the realism, and I know myself personally, I did Ironman Cairns in a relay, in a 70.3 relay this year. Obviously practiced plenty of times on FulGaz, and my real world split and my FulGaz split were in like within 4 minutes of each other. So it's super realistic. So
Well, I want to take us in the direction of like just how we get started with this, but I have a follow-up question to your discussion there with April, and that is, and thank you for kind of explaining a little bit of the background, because a lot of us come to this with the filter of triathlon. And, and I too use it and we all have these race rehearsals on our calendars in the month leading up to a race. And it's a great time to really get eyes on the course and know, how far is that, that stretch and what does it look like, and what do the, aid stations, where are they located, and, all of those things. Um, but it's really cool that you can ride courses all over the world and different kinds of courses. Before we get into like how we get set up, but maybe like open our mind here to like how vast is the library?
yeah, sure. So we have over 100 Ironman and Ironman 70.3 courses on the platform now. So I would say all bar maybe 4 or 5 of the non-licensee races are on there. So all your big ones in North America, obviously Kona, Nice. We just had the Topol 70.3 World Champs course on there as well. And Marbella is on there for anyone who's qualified for 70.3 Worlds next year. Although they haven't released the final World Champs course, the standard course is on there at least. So yeah, and then we've got another 2,500 rides that are submitted from our members around the world. So you can ride everything from Alpe d'Huez to Marin Headlands in California to Mont Ventoux, and everything in between. So I think we've got rides spanning maybe 60 countries now. There's even some Antarctica rides, which are pretty gnarly. Like it's just white and flat, but it's pretty cool to go for a ride in Antarctica. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. So kind of just maybe help us. A lot of us are going to try to do some group training over the next few weekends, and we've rolled out the access code, the 30-day access code. We've rolled out the group ride code. Maybe can you just start from the basics? Like, how do we get started? How does somebody get their setup and set up their, link up their trainer and all of that?
Yeah, sure. So if you head to FulGaz.com, there's a kind of get started button, which will take you through our quick start guide. And a lot of it's just setting up your account, which you don't need a credit card for or anything. You guys will share the promo code, which kind of links up your club room, your virtual club room in the app, which starts with 30-day and then has some stuff after it. So that'll do two things. It gives new people to the platform a 30-day free trial. And it also unlocks your kind of private club room as well. So I can share my screen and show you guys what that looks like. But yeah, create your account, enter that promo code, and then connect your trainer to the software. So you'll need to download FulGaz, the app, onto your preferred device. So whether it's an Apple TV, like what I've got set up behind me, your phone, iPad, laptop, Windows, or Android devices, and Apple, we kind of cover them all. Yeah, download that, connect your trainer. So anyone who's got, if anyone's sort of connected to Zwift or Ruby or any of the others, we're compatible with the same trainers. And yeah, it'll pick up your heart rate strap and all the rest of it as well, so you can measure all those things while you're going. And
All by
yeah,
Bluetooth? All by Bluetooth?
yeah, all
Yeah.
by Bluetooth. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we did support AMP Plus. I'm going to say that we've moved away from that just because it's quite unstable as a connection platform. But if you're connecting via an Apple device or Android, it's pretty much Windows that only just has AMP Plus kind of hanging around. But yeah, and then you can choose to download the rides or you can stream them. So I would say if you start a ride and you're experiencing a bit of stuttering with the ride, then it's likely due to an internet connection kind of issue. So you can just download the rides and alleviate that sort of pressure on your platform. But yeah, I can, if you like, I can kind of share my screen and show you around FulGaz if you like.
That'd be great.
Yeah, perfect. So you guys can see that.
Not yet. April. Oh yeah, it looks like it's coming in now. Yep, we got it.
Cool. So when you guys log in, you'll see Rich's. So by using that code, you'll see the club room here. So if I go ahead and click into here, it will show you all the group rides. So you guys have got one coming up in Cozumel pretty soon, and then one in Nice, which looks a little scary, but you know, you've got all your rides there, so you don't need to go searching for rides that Rich and April will set up. It's just literally go to that thumbnail and it's all right there. Obviously you can see a whole bunch of other stuff on here. So we run events all the time. So there's a couple going at the moment. We have our FulGaz Femmes program, which is for females in triathlon, which I run as well. 70.3 is one and done, and then we've got our pro series happening, which you guys might have seen. So it's a virtual version of the Ironman Pro Series, which wraps up at the end of this month. But yeah, you can come across to the Ironman and Ironman 70.3 courses. So is there like the people on the call, who's doing what race next year? Let me see if I've got it, and we can jump to that if anyone wants to put it in the chat. Or
I know somebody's doing Victoria 70.3.
yeah.
Yep, I put it in there.
Come across. So if you know the logo, you can kind of search that way, or you can just search by name.
Are they in alphabetical order?
Yeah, they are. Yep.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Makes it
With
easy.
Sydney, I want to do. Oh.
I don't know that we have Victoria. That might be one that we don't have. Let me go to. I'm just going to pick Swansea because it's a really it's in the Pro Series next year, and a good friend of mine, was actually responsible for bringing this to Swansea, which is in Wales. And it's a really beautiful course. So you can see the distance, which I've got in kilometers. You can set that to imperial as well for those that like racing in miles. You've got the original time, and you might go, oh, that's really fast, Bec. Why is it so fast? That's the original time it took to film the course. And all of our Ironman courses are filmed on race day, which means majority of them are filmed on a motorbike, which leads out ahead of the first athlete, so we don't get in the way of anyone. So those times will be based on a motorbike going, and I'm going to just revert to kilometers because that's what we roll in here, but we tell our motorbike riders not to go faster than, say, 40 k's an hour. So I'm not sure what that is in miles, but it's quite fast, right? It's sort of 40, 45 k's an hour. It's kind of pro level bike speed. So don't be upset if you ride this and go, oh, it took me like 3 hours or, you know, whatever it is. So I would look at the distance and then figure out, okay, based on, you know, 30 k's an hour average, it's going to be this fast. So one thing to note in your settings, and you can do it via the cog in the top left corner, and you can also do it with this little button next to the ride thing, is to make sure that reactive is blue. So we have 2 modes in FulGaz. You can ride in reactive mode, and it explains what it is here. So FulGaz will go at the same speed that you would go on the course because it's speeding up and slowing down the video based on your effort. If you put it into steady mode, you're going to go at the speed that it was originally recorded. You'll still feel the gradient changes, but you're going to go at that sort of faster speed in most cases. So if you're just looking to do a course recon and, you know, experience the ups and the downs, whack it in steady mode if you're sort of strapped for time. But I would think that most people would be in reactive so that you can go, okay, well, it took me 2.5 hours or 3 hours or 3 hours 30 to do that course. There's my benchmark, and how can I improve that over time as we get closer to race day. So that's just a tip for new players. Often I get people emailing me saying, oh, I went really fast and I'm not sure why, and then it's like normally in steady mode. So you can also come into here and create your own section of the course. So understanding that you might not necessarily want to ride the entire course in one go by itself. So if you press the plus section button, you can come in here and use these toggles to make your own section. So today I might want to go from T1 and I'm just going to stop at the bottom of this climb because you know what, that looks a little scary. So I'm just going to stop. I can call it whatever I want.
Cool.
Save. And then now I've got, and you can see on the line map where it'll kind of take you. And now I've got a shorter 26.86 kilometer section of the course. So you can break it up into sections. And if you're not great on hills, you might go, okay, well, I really want to practice this hilly part of the course. Good for courses like I'm in Arizona, Lake Placid, where there's some really decisive climbs that can kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak. So that's a section. You can then go, okay, well, I want to do a workout now. So if you can grab your Tridot workout or Training Peaks or whatever you use and apply that to the same course. So now I'm doing my workout session of the day. So if I come across, I don't think I have anything in my Tridot account for today, but maybe in here, maybe not. I've got some uploaded as well as backups. So I could come in here, and if you click on whatever you're using, you've had that all synced up, you can come in here and go, okay, well, I want to do, I think these are Michaela Jones workouts because they all start with giddy up. So I'm going to do this workout. It's an hour long, and I'm going to apply that to the course. So if you notice, it's all done to my FTP, so the workout will be customized based on that. And you'll go back, but your section you made was only 40 minutes long, but the workout's an hour long. That's all good. What FulGaz will do is loop back to the start of the video and make sure you finish your workout. So you don't need to pair a section time with a workout time. You can just drop it into whatever you like, basically. And equally, if your workout is shorter than your segment, it will just prompt you in the ride to finish the workout when you're done. So yeah, some really cool little things there that, you know, it's all very well and good riding on the course, you can do it a few times and you'll get an idea for your pace. But I think the more that you just look at the course, you'll just really get this, strange sense of deja vu when you arrive at a venue. Even in New Zealand, last weekend I was there for the World Championships, and a bunch of people from America and the UK were like, "Oh, I knew where I was when I was driving in from the airport because I've like ridden this so many times on FulGaz." So they'd seen it, they knew what to expect. So I'll go ahead and what I'm gonna do, I'll hit ride and just show you guys what a workout looks like running. And the playback might be a bit average because it's on on Zoom, but you'll get the idea. Let's see how clear it is. So you can see it's in steady mode because it'll be in erg mode for the trainer. So the trainer is just going to ramp up the watts that you need to hold automatically. So
Ready, set, go.
So you can see on
Now
here,
10 minutes, 0 seconds starting at 64 watts.
so there's your warm up and it'll literally go through. So you can see very much that it is filmed on race day. You'll get all the signage and everything in there. And as Rich said, you'll see where the aid stations are, which is another cool point because then you can actually also start to practice your nutrition strategy. So I find myself riding along on the setup behind me, and when I go past an aid station, I just automatically grab my bottle and start drinking. I don't know, it just feels right. But you can practice and go, okay, well, I know there's going to be aid stations here, here, and here. My prescribed liquid intake that I can carry on my bike is going to get me to here. So, you can start to practice all that, practice your gels, literally do a race simulation with all these different factors being taken in. So, but yeah, I don't see, like, for me, it's like there's no point doing a workout staring at a random ride or, on another platform when you could be doing a workout on the course that you're going to be racing on. And it just, just gets everything, all the little landmarks and everything just really ingrained in your mind. So
even that image right there, we just passed a island that goes out into the middle of the course, and you had to navigate around it. Just knowing that there are obstacles like that on the course ahead of time is also a safety thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Really cool.
And the other thing we've got too is that there's and it won't be, I don't know where my button's gone, but you can also do chat features as in-app chat. So when you guys do a group ride, it's kind of like Messenger, but built into Facebook. So you can, often on my Apple TV, I'll just have the same ride open on my phone, and then you can chat away to people on the ride. So you guys, Rich, you could be saying, pick up the pace, guys, or whatever it is, and have a bit of banter going on the group rides, and that always makes them go faster. But Swansea, like, it's a stunning course. Nikki Bartlett, one of the pros that we work with, so she finished 5th in Nice and 11th on the weekend in Topor. She actually used FulGaz to pick her plan her race calendar for this year. So she ended up racing in Ironman 70.3 Les Sables after riding it on here. She looked at the profile on Ironman.com and was like, it doesn't really look like my type of course. She rode it on here and went, actually, it's a bit hillier than the profile suggests, and it really plays to my strengths. So she ended up entering it, and I think she came second for that race, and that was her first race back after a bit of an injury. So yeah, it's super useful in that regards.
Quick question for you, Bec. We're going to have athletes that are going to be joining the group rides. They all might have slightly different workouts on the day coming from, whatever their platform. Most of us are on TriDot. Can we all be on the same ride, but all doing our own workouts is the question.
Yeah, absolutely. So you would just come into your club room here, and if it's, I'm assuming you're not going to do a 3-hour ride on Nice, but you could just come in here and go add workout, add your own workout from TriDot or wherever it comes from. And then when the group ride starts, you guys will all be doing different workouts, but you can chat away and talk about, and that's when it's good from a coaching perspective to talk through some of the nuances of the course as well. And Rich, you guys might want to set up a steady mode group ride. So everyone's just doing a section of the course. For Nice, it might be the first 30 Ks. Or for Kona. Let me just jump into Kona because that's a really cool one to just
It is, yeah.
watch.
While that's loading back, I got a question.
I can't go into that because it's a group ride, but I'll show you Kona while we're here. Yes, hit me with a question.
So you mentioned there's a chat function. I just want to make sure that people aren't going to be hearing me dying because I'm heavy breathing. Right?
It's a typing chat, not a voice chat. So
great, thank you.
If you're like me though, you like to use lots of emojis. So I just have that really red face emoji that's kind of dying in the.
Yeah, I don't need to be throwing out my swear words too well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can browse. You guys will get a 30-day free trial to get started and have a look around. And then it's one of the cheaper platforms on the market per month. I know it's cheaper than Zwift and a few of the others. There we go. We got Kona down here. So Kona, we've actually split up into segments as well. So you can do like segment 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can ride the whole thing. That's the climb to Harvey, if anyone's ever done it. Actually, it looks scarier on this profile than it actually is in real life.
It is kind of funny. The very beginning of Kona, you're making the turnaround on Elite, and the female pros are coming for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'll save this.
Ready, set, go.
And it starts a little before the mount line on this this version, but it's pretty cool to get to go down the red carpet and you start to see the crowds, and then you have people cheering for you, which is kind of fun as well. So it's not going to work because I don't have a trainer connected.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we open it up? This has been great, Bec. Just a great introduction. I feel like I always learn something more when I when I hear it from you. So thank you. Why don't we open it up? Anybody else? Just open mic. Throw your question out.
I'm a Zwifter, so and I'm not even I'm not a true triathlete. I'm kind of coming into this world with a different approach in my fitness journey, but I mainly use cycling, and I've never used anything other than like before Zwift, I used something called Sufferfest, which was recently, or not recent, very recently, bought by I want to say Wahoo.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm wondering if the platform is much like that, where Wahoo had like these different segments, but you were kind of solo. Can you ride with? Can you do like a race simulation where you see other riders on the course?
You're not going to see, you won't see other, like we call them avatars on the screen. So we tried to do that, I'm going to say a couple of years ago now, but because we've got, unlike Zwift, which it's all animated, right? Like it's just a big game. And I don't mind Zwift. Like I think, we have a lot of people that use us and Zwift because we are very different. Yeah, we tried to use it, and putting an animated rider on a real world surround is really difficult to do well. And it just looks really forced. So we kind of abandoned that. But in saying that, like if you do a group ride, you'll see a leaderboard on the side of the screen of who else is on course with you. And like I said, you can chat and do all the other things that you on Zwift that you can do. We don't have like ride-ons and power-ups and things. But what I will say, and what you'll probably find coming from Zwift, is that we don't kind of falsify gradients or anything like that. So in Zwift, if you're riding up an 8% climb, it'll actually feel like a 4% climb. Whereas in FulGaz, if you're riding up an 8% climb, it's going to feel like an 8% climb. So We often have a lot of people saying your app's shit because it's, it's really hard. And it's like, well, no, running a bike, and if you ride a bike outdoors, you'll know it's not easy. Like it's hard. Like you need good fitness and good strength. So yeah, we don't have the avatars, unfortunately, but hopefully there's plenty of other benefits in terms of that course recon, being able to, throw your tri-dot workouts on there and do the group rides as a group here, which is cool.
I do have a part two to that
Yeah,
question. The hand gestures, yes.
sure.
That was me trying to cut the question in half, Phil. Anyway, um the part where you said that you can do a route recon, I put in my notes that you said that people can submit courses. Are those like, say if I was a pure cyclist and I'm not a triathlete and I'm a crit racer and I wanna recon a crit race.
Mhm.
Can I reproduce that by taking a GoPro, putting it on my forehead and submitting it? How does it work?
Yeah. Yeah. So 95%, basically everything except for Ironman rides in our catalog are sent in by members.
Okay.
And what they do is I think GoPro 11 is the lowest level of GoPro that we'll accept now, but you need a GoPro 11, 12, or 13. And we've got a whole filming guide on our website which steps you through how to do it. It's quite a lengthy guide, I'm going to say. Once you break it down, it's pretty simple. But yeah, I mean, that's how we've built from 12 rides to 2,500 rides in the last 10 years or so is exactly that. People just wanting to go out, and we have a whole bunch of members that will just take their bikes on holidays with them and film, and that means that they can kind of relive their holiday when they're back home in the middle of winter and can't get outside for whatever reason. So yeah, for sure. Definitely something. Filming in a race, I would say, is, well, you normally need to get approval by the race organizer to have a camera on your bike. I actually filmed the triathlon that I did 2 weekends ago, and it's kind of funny watching it back. Because you're like, wow, I passed a lot of people on the on the bike, but it's kind of fun watching it back, and you can obviously train and things on it. So yeah, for sure. Just check out our website. There's a filming guide on there.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's right up your alley, Ed. The other thing I was going to mention was I think that when you're in the group ride, there's a leaderboard and there's also the course map. You can see where the dots of each person in the rides on the course, which I find a nice visual too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got that on there as well. You can also toggle that little line map to be look in different ways and things. So yeah, we like to I've done some rides on Zwift and I don't mind it. I feel like it gets quite busy on the ride, like you sort of don't really know where to look. So we kind of made the call a few years ago that it's like, let's just let it be our point of difference and let the scenery do the talking. And I think when you're training for a triathlon, ultimately it's your own TT, right? Like you're not meant to be drafting, you're not meant to be, you're meant to be focused on what you're doing. So which is what every ride on FulGaz is like. There's no drafting effects or anything like that. So you do get a true indication for your own speed. Albeit probably a little slower than on some other platforms.
Yeah, well, and this also, I mean, this competes with other platforms, but also competes with Netflix. This is a cheaper subscription than Netflix.
Yes.
Awesome. Anybody else have a question? April's got her hand up again.
Yeah. So I had a follow-up to Zed's question about the submission of courses, and I'll be honest, like I've done a lot of exploration into Xterra and off-road triathlon. Is FulGaz open to or looking at potentially bringing on mountain bike courses? Because I think that would be amazing.
We've tried mountain bike courses, and to be honest, they make you feel a bit sick when you're
I believe it. I
just
believe it.
a little bit too much up and down and motion sickness kind of, for me anyway, it kicks in. So we have probably 100 or so gravel rides in the platform now, so you can go and and you know, you can certainly go off road. And there's even like a real road feel setting for like, I think it's the tax trainers that can give you like the rumbly feel of the road. So you can do that if you want. But yeah, mountain biking, we did a little bit when we started first with Ironman, because they owned the Epic series, I think. We did a little bit with them, but yeah, definitely doesn't lend itself well to high speed downhills or like really, you know, bumpy up and downs. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that.
I wonder, can we just revisit that, but with smooth drone footage?
Maybe.
That's up and down.
Yeah. Maybe one for the future for sure.
Yes, love it, Zed.
Any other questions? Has anyone tried FulGaz? Have they got any feedback for me? Happy to answer or help with any troubleshooting if there's anything like that going on. We release rides every week as well, so we have a weekly email every Tuesday that goes out with new rides, which is fun. And I'm going to say we probably released about 30 odd Ironman courses this year, like 30 additional Ironman courses. So it's been a busy year.
That's awesome.
Are you all gonna start, since you do weekly rides? I notice it's rides, right? But do you all do runs as well? I have a treadmill, and I'm Rich's athlete, and I run bike run. That's what I do right now.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, would you all expand to runs later on, if not already?
Yeah, I mean, we aren't compatible just because the smart treadmill market isn't huge at the moment. Like Wahoo have really come out with the best one so far, and I couldn't even name any others off the top of my belt. But yeah, I don't think so in the near future at least. But what you can do, I know for Nice, for example, we filmed the run course in 2024 on race day. So you can ride that as a ride, or you could actually pop it on steady mode and just run along while you're watching it. It'll be at bike speed. So, and obviously it's not going to slow up and speed down, but and slow down, but that's an option. But yeah, not in the immediate future, no. And I think, you know, part of that is I know Zwift obviously have their run thing as well, but that's quite small in a percentage of their audience as well. Like there isn't a huge demand for it. So yeah, we'll see.
Bec, what is your favorite ride? What is your favorite Ironman ride?
My favorite Ironman ride is Ironman 70.3 Cairns. A, because I did it, but B, it was voted the best bike course in the world multiple years in a row. So I would recommend anyone give that a go. I'm going to say that the start of it is a bit blurry because the GoPro capabilities until date were pretty average in low light, and we have to leave at basically dawn on the motorbike. I'm actually on the back of the motorbike for that particular filming, so I lived every kilometer of it. But the return journey down the highway in Port Douglas is stunning. You've literally got blue ocean on one side, palm trees, rainforest on the other side. It's just a stunning piece of road, and you actually can't ride on it safely without getting collected by a truck any other day of the week. So FulGaz is literally the only way to train for that particular bike course. So I'm going to say that, followed by Nice, pretty closely followed by the Nice course. It's you know, we had a whole bunch of women that we helped prepare, about 500 of them, that went to Nice this year, and that bike course is stunning. The bike rider and me wanted to take my bike with me and just go for a ride for a day, because it's just absolutely stunning. It's like a Tour de France stage. So yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other
I've got a
questions?
question.
Yeah, Sarah.
I had signed up to try FulGaz one time over a year ago, and could just never get it to sync up with my power pedals.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I just don't feel like I need to try to use it then. So any suggestions on that?
So were your power pedals sort of coming up as a device that you could connect to on the connection screen, or were they not showing up at all? Or
I think it was showing up that you could connect, but it wouldn't connect at all.
okay.
And I don't remember because I haven't come back to try again, but
Yeah, I would say that the app's come a long way in a year. So I would
Okay.
maybe give it another try and see how you go.
is it better not, do you need to use the power pedals, or is it better just to sync it up with the trainer and just go that route?
Yeah, I would. What sort of trainer are you using?
It's the Wahoo Kicker.
Yeah, so you're going to get power from that. You know, you'll get a power reading based on your speed and the resistance and all that sort of stuff. So I would try it without the power pedals and see how you go.
Okay, so how do those numbers match up to say what the power pedals do? Because if we record our workouts on a bike computer coming from the power meter to like send a TriDot for our workouts, is it going to match up close enough with what the trainer's doing on FulGaz?
Yeah, it should do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Give it a go and see how you go. If you have a drummer, our support team are super responsive. We've got a lady based in the US now, so yeah, you can always get hold of them and they can help you get going. So
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, Sarah, for what it's worth, I also have a Wahoo Kicker, and I find that there's just a little bit of a difference between my Garmin power pedals and my kicker. My kicker is probably 5 watts, a little easier, maybe. So they're not spot on, but they're pretty close.
You just adjust it a little bit with what you aim for.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's a great question.
Right.
Anybody else?
Hey, Beck, we might have some folks on the call that are not very familiar with like their FTP or how to set up with their profile. What are some like best practices to get us started so we're not just diving into this and like it says like we're 270 watts on there when really we're 170, right? How do we make sure we're all set up so we're not like taken out from the start?
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to share my screen and just dive back into settings. So if you click in the settings cog in the top right hand corner, you can dial in all of your settings from here. So your FTP goes into here. So you see your workout settings. So if you have TriDot connected to FulGaz, it will pull across your FTP from TriDot and put it into there. We also have our own FTP test as well, which is always good to go. I'll show you guys that in a second. So yeah, your FTP is important. I would say your video settings and things, so you can choose what size sort of videos you want to stream from as well, which might help with your connection. This is your steady mode, reactive, and challenge. Challenge mode is you can pick a time to ride against and try and beat that time. So you'll see the ride profile at the top of the screen. There will be a secondary dot to try and chase down. So that's, you can do a ride, save it into your challenge folder, and then try and beat your ride the next time. But you'll have a visual cue of kind of chasing a carrot on there. And then you've got things like your weight, your bike weight, and advanced settings. So if you know your CDA, you can put your CDA in, and we give you some guidance there too on, you know, what an average CDA would be if you're in your, you know, tri-bars versus a road bike, rolling resistance, and then wind. You can dial in kilometers an hour, direction. Mine's firmly off, but you can dial it in if you want to dial it in. So that's pretty cool. Also helpful, like with TriDot, obviously they share some of that information around what you can expect in terms of race day conditions and things. So you can connect to all the things by your online. So we have members.fulgas.com, which is kind of like your online profile. So you can log into that separately and connect all those things. And yeah, I would say there's also a promo code field in here as well. So you can pop in the 30-day code that Rich shared, apply that code. If you don't see the club room, there's an update ride list button down here, which often just gives the server a bit of a kick and sends it to your thing. So yeah, I would say the biggest things is reactive mode, your weight's correct, your gender, and which you'll do in the onboarding, and your bike weight and things.
Perfect, Bec, thank you.
No problem.
Awesome.
We also have some things in here, which you'll find called coach casts, which are kind of like a podcast on wheels. So we have them for a few champs. There's probably a few in here as well. So for example, like and I know that they're not in North America yet, but Precision Fuel and Hydration, who sort of look after Oceania and Europe and the World Champs courses. So I had a chat with Andy Blow, the founder of those guys, and then we sort of put that podcast style chat over the top of a ride. So then you can ride along from home and listen to chats of different, different information and things. We did some on Topor, which was like very course specific. So you'll be riding along and you'll be seeing what we're talking about at the same time, and you'll be able to understand what the advice is for that particular section. So yeah.
Way to raise the bar.
Yeah, I mean, it gets, everyone like listens to podcasts or music or whatever anyway, so we just put it all in one and yeah.
April, we're gonna have to take the 303 Endurance podcast on the road the next time.
I know, I was just thinking that. I was like, this is such a cool opportunity.
That's funny. Bec, this has been a blast. First, before we wrap, any other questions before we close out? Okay, looks like we're good.
Oh,
Bec,
Zed,
thank you.
Zed had his hand up. Here
Oh, we
go.
did. Oh, sorry, didn't
Here goes
see
Zed.
that.
So Bec, you are in New Zealand, right?
I'm in Australia.
Australia, I'm sorry.
That's offensive when you
same
tell
place.
Oh
no, we
Um,
love our little cousins over the ditch. They're okay.
So, one thing that I do wanna pitch is I'm trying to collect data on esports opportunities, and I'm wondering if I would be able to use this in the community that I'm in. I come from something called the Invictus Games Foundation.
Yeah.
So, what I do is kind of vanguard the process of getting vets across the world. That's, US friendly vets across the world, um, involved in sports.
Yeah.
And if I could, I'm wondering if we could leverage FulGaz to kind of prep vets to get involved with indoor cycling, and ultimately, if they come over to, I think the next Invictus Games after this one in Canada is back in the UK.
Yeah.
Any Kiwis coming out or Australians coming out, they could maybe ride a course that's going to be set up at the Invictus Games.
Yeah, we'd have to go ahead and film it for sure. But yeah, happy to talk about that. It's a great cause, and yeah, I'm a big Harry fan, so I don't mind
right on.
Invictus
So,
game.
So, but I do I want to know like what got you into triathlon. I think I came in late. I was all over the place trying to get myself cleaned up and presentable. But why are you sticking with the triathlon lifestyle in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, for us at FulGaz, we were, we still are very much a cycling company, but we were bought by Ironman. So, we've learned a lot about triathletes in the last kind of 3 years or so. And so, yeah, I mean, for triathletes, we feel like it's a no-brainer when you've got all of the courses on there and things. And me personally, I actually really enjoy hanging out with triathletes versus road cyclists anyway, because they're just, yeah, no offense to but I mean maybe the Australian ones kind of put them in a bad light, but they get very serious very quickly, and there's a lot of testosterone and things. But triathletes are super friendly and welcoming, and so yeah, I still cycle, Zed. I just prefer cycling with triathletes, that's all.
Fair enough. I love it, Bec.
Yeah. Cool.
Hmm.
Any other questions? Cool.
So
This-
much. This has been a blast.
This was fun. I really appreciate you coming out and sharing this with us, Bec.
No problem at all. Great to meet you guys. And I guess indoor training season's probably well and truly hit for most of you. So yeah, hopefully you can make the most out of it over the winter. And Mike, who actually started it, managed to win our national road championship this year, came second in the time trial, and he did all his training on FulGaz. So definitely works. So yeah, happy pedaling.
Yeah, winter wonderland for me in Minnesota right now.
Yeah. Part of me would love that because it's baking here right now. And I'd love to have a white Christmas, but also enjoying our summer, which has been a little overdue. So
You ever make it out to Colorado, look us up.
Yes, we love
yeah.
that.
Last time I flew into Denver, I left in our summer in January and landed in 2 foot of snow. So that was fun. I was not prepared for the snow. Back to my previous story about being prepared. I there's a trend, and yeah, I need to be more prepared for the weather.
Well, look forward to seeing some of you on Saturday morning on FulGaz on our group ride. We'll put out some more reminders between now and then, and wish us luck, Bec. We'll let you
Yeah.
know how it goes.
Good luck, guys. Yeah, can't wait to hear all about it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Bec.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Bye.